Before we start, pause the video briefly and comment on which anime you want to watch next, so here we go. Wealth, power, unrest. The man who fought for all of this was Gold Roger, the loot, who hid the greatest treasure in the world. This treasure is a piece and lies somewhere in the baseline. Back then, the journey of our boy Monkey.de to the air began. The idiot immediately stuck a knife in his face to prove that he wasn't afraid of pain. The 8 million berry man Grizzly comes into the bar and punches Shanks because he had already drunk the place dry. Shanks, you mop up with a rag this week. Practically speaking, that Chrissy is standing right in front of him. Luffy is so that it takes seconds, he didn't fight back. But we can be really glad, Shanks probably would have made the whole continent tremble. Then Shanks also realizes that Luffy ate the devil fruit that he had brought with him, and yes, in the world of One Piece there are mystical fruits that can give you all sorts of powers, like turning feet and hands into rubber. Making tires or barking, yes, there are definitely some abilities, but by doing that you're no longer the bro from the sea and lose the ability to swim. As a gift, when the bandits were discarded, the bandits came back and Luffy started trouble with them, but Shakes came back and when the bandits wanted to shoot him, they caught. She shoots herself with Lucky Roo, while Backman finishes the guys off with his cigarette and hits the home run with his gun. The boss flees, throws Luffy into the sea, and yes, he gets eaten himself. Shanks is the last one, but Luffy tells the sea monster who's boss. Chance loses his arm in the process, paying a price that would later pay off handsomely. Shanks and his crew say goodbye, Luffy gets his hat, and that was Luffy's big moment. 10 years later, call to their lake and make the promise. His arm became a pistol, and with that, your monster makes way. He's looking for people for his crew, at least 10, not just for a few minutes. On his journey, he then gets into trouble with a whirlpool. This brings us back to All and her slave, Corby. She opens a beer barrel, and a monkey comes out. Luffy insults Kobe constantly, but they become friends. They'll soon be back to work for the last 2 years because he got lost while fishing. Off. Yes, the fights at the beginning were basically just one hit at a time. Together, they head to the video base where Horror no Zoro is being held captive or something. Luffy wants him for his crew, even though he's actually a pirate hunter. They find him very quickly. He was just hanging around a bit. A little girl goes to Zoro and wants to give him something to eat. Then Captain Morgan's son, Helmepo, comes along, and he's that one kid from your school who clearly wants to show off his money. The rice balls, the girl, because they were made with sugar instead of salt, then she's thrown over the wall, but Luffy catches her. Soda for the hunger prank. To continue for a month to help the little girl's family and to prove his mettle, Solo is acting like a stud here, head through it despite my request to Luffy. He wants the Reichsbutcher to kick Mappo, after all, he hasn't eaten anything for the past few days. In the city, they meet Mappo again, and yes, Luffy makes life difficult for everyone because he said he wanted to execute Zoro in 3 days, even though they had a promise to each other. Luffy brings them back, and we get a flashback to Solo, who is close to death. Ruin has defeated Zoro 2000-0, and even at night with real swords, Zero loses to her again. Kuina is saddened, the men will soon surpass her. As a woman, she cannot become the #1 fighter, the two promise each other to become the best, and the next day Kuina falls down the stairs and dies. Yeah, right. I'm already looking forward to One Piece chapter 1200. The truth behind it is that she's dead, and the day after her death, the learner says that humans are fragile, as if he couldn't care less that his daughter just died. Back to the present. His swords and Luffy then turn Captain Morgan into scrap metal. Helmepo wanted to kill him, and then he and his future best friend, Kobe, kill him, but Luffy quickly gets him while Zolo provides backup. He messes up Captain Morgan again, and then we see the other side of Zolo, and his laugh is legendary to this day. The Marines then thank Luffy for freeing them from the tyrant Captain Morgan, so they grant the officers a wish, Kobe can still become part of the Marines. Because they ignore Kobe, he doesn't get noticed. Luffy then wants to reveal Kombi's past, but Kombi hits him before he can say anything. Luffy tested Kombi to see if he was really serious about his dream, but got a slap in return. Sorry, our story got lost. End. Meanwhile, Luffy is modern, bird-knitted, meets buggy pirates who have been completely tricked by Nami. The bird brings Luffy Tsunami, and he saves her from Buggy's people. The warrior with the clown t-shirt is also there, his name, as fate would have it, is Navigation Pirates, which is why she doesn't want to join them so nothing happens to Luffy, and takes him to Buggy. But the guilt catches up with her. Buggy is missing, because you need to kill Luffy. But she refuses and grabs the cannon's fuse with the stick, stopping her bare hands and saving Luffy. But then Zolo comes to help. He cuts Buggy a small piece, well, a baguette, because he ate a devil fruit. That's why he sends him off like a nobleman from behind. But he still has an ace up his sleeve with the final card, the magic cannonball. He turns it around in the thick fog, or then simply Luffy's cage. Luffy simply recruits the most masculine being in the entire universe and has lost so much blood. I need your break first. I really wonder if he'll ever lose that much blood again. But luckily, he stole the cage key. Yum. The next time it's even longer until all of Zoro's organs fall out of his wound. But the dog Shushu swallows the keys. Then Moji appears, but Shushu doesn't budge. He wants to keep it as a memento of his dead hair, but in itself that's practical because Moji's kitten breaks open Luffy's cage. Richie wants to flatten the YouTube store, but a real scion stands against it. Multi burns the store down. He gets hit in the lion, also a Gum Gum helicopter. And damn, Luffy's punch emoji was so hard that his soul almost left his body. Buggy wakes us up with the mayor's code so that the base user doesn't die in the battle, but about 250 damage to the wound himself to get a Senkai boost. No, just kidding, but he wants to make the match fair, so they steal Buggy's loot and then face the Beyblades. Buggy wants to go home, but Luffy is subdued. Then there's a monster corporate YouTube strike by Zoro and Kawasaki is destroyed. Luffy's fight against Buggy is pretty much like a sledgehammer, but when Buggy tears his straw to shreds, Luffy heads towards the shaft and gives Buggy a bomb. Buggy was always in a crew with Shanks and gave Buggy away. Buggy was scared when he actually wanted to steal and sell the devil fruit, that's why Shanks, and because his treasure went down the drain. Nami is then caught, but before Baggies can attack, Luffy hits Buggy in the balls. Buggy is finished off, they get the map back and Nami connects his arms and legs and vagina, ramming him with a Gumasuka goes. They then fly off on Deijai's ship, and the mayor thanks them again. They arrive on the island where the smartest person ever lives. He's been stuck in a box for 20 years because he was looking for treasure and fell in. But hey, we get a little geography lesson from Nami. There are two oceans separated by the red line. From the center, at a right angle, one circles the world. That's the red line. Luffy finds Simon's treasure, but the boxes are empty, so Luffy pretends he wants to keep the treasure so as not to offend the moon. Gaiman notices all this and is a fan of Luffy. Then they set sail, heading Sniper Island where they meet Captain Solution with onion, pepper, and pineapple. Oh wait, he's coming later. He wants to see his little gang with whom he fools everyone in the village. After a quick lunch, he goes to his girlfriend Kaya to cheer her up. Luffy then joins in because he doesn't want to borrow a ship, or rather, he just wants to have one. Her butler would either way. I'll call him Butler for the video and later Captain Black, so please don't hate me for that in the comments, thank you. Make Hell and Fronted Solutions give the butler a new look. The butler has also been working for Kaya's family for 3 years and doesn't seem like it at all. Like a snake in the grass, Michael Jackson then comes along. 1, 2 and Jacko, now you have to like the video. Luffy then says that he knows his father and that he's still doing well. They then film Michael and the butler talking about Kaya's murder. Yeah, it makes sense to discuss the whole thing outside in broad daylight. The butler is also a Black Forest cap. He doesn't want any money, and under hypnosis, she's supposed to write a will. Luffy is then noticed, but they ignore her because they think Luffy died in the fall, and that there's no danger anyway because his nose is as long as Pinocchio's. Of course, you don't believe anyone yet. Solution, lies. Even though they're true this time, Kaya doesn't believe him either, and that's why she wanted to kidnap him. I mean, it's totally believable to you, and then he gets a bullet in the arm. Luffy thinks he's so right, he wants to help him. The next day, the cats attack, but what do you want? I'll tell you now, they're at the other harbor. Luffy then go there immediately and point out why she's already pulling the shit and escapes herself. Honestly, the head it all. First, at the other bay, with tricks we can stop the pirates, but it doesn't take long until you get what's coming to you. Before they can even realize it, they are stopped by sonography. But because of the new Michael Jackson song, the pirates rise again, understandably. But with a gum around the Kalash, he settles it very quickly, and if you also think the new MG song is nice, he flattened the pirates with their own ship. Then he falls asleep. Kai finds his lamp, the one that was shot by Captain Black, and checks that Usopp didn't lie. Solo meets, we are now on the cardboard bubbles. Flecky and Chow, his swords, why to Auschwitz? But that only hit his clothes. Shane Vision comes along and tames his kittens because they wanted to attack him. But Nami, now I have to go back later. Worried, and with that, he finishes them off because they keep waking him up. Nami gently wakes Luffy up again. No one comes along. He threatens to tip over with a weapon and learns the whole story. Before everything dies, there's another rubber slap to save him. Solution, Fruit Salad intervenes, but Captain Black can't really bring the boys. He can leave and is on Jacko, who wants to follow them. After the fat cat has stood up 1,000 times, Solo finally makes room. Then he goes after Kaya and Jacko with a lust for them. We are Luffy, we are Captain Showdown. What Jacko does and no one catches will certainly not please Greenpeace. They all go wrong, and Captain Black kicks him with his new sneakers from the Piccolo collection. We then see his flashback. He's fed up with being a pirate and has hypnotized a marine with his powers, who then takes his place. Kaya has also found the hard counter against Jacko, simply closing her eyes. Captain Black then kills his men, but that doesn't do much against stubborn Luffy. Saving the airball doesn't require a restimate, but the Solution and the Solo effort save them before Jacko can kill them. Jacko and Kitten Black both get a beating. Everything is fine again, and she disbands her crew to go to sea herself.